Okay. Let me be nice before. Okay.
Okay. Welcome everybody to our BrandBar Happy Hour chat. We are here today with Mr. Michael Navarini. It's really good to see you, Mike. He is the founder of bananaads.com and also Namerific.com. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Sounds good. Thanks, Angela.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Karsten. And
Thanks
hello,
for
other
coming.
people, Tom and Steven and everyone else.
Okay, so Mike, I wanted to start with just asking you if you can just tell us a little bit about Namerific.
So, Namerific is a brandable domain name marketplace. We work with buyers and sellers of domain names, and we primarily are focused on selling brand names to entrepreneurs who are starting companies, building products, developing apps, starting organizations, any sort of new business that or product that needs a brand. That's what we focus on selling. So, I mean, anyone can go to our homepage and kind of look at what we have on there. And as you can see, it's basically brands for any niche out there. Could be technology, clothing, apparel. Could be software brands, any sort of brands. I mean, a lot of the names that we have are invented, so they can apply for any sort of industry or niche, as you can see. So that's what Namerific is.
Okay. Yes, it does. Can you take us through the process? Like, what would a user do if they go to Namerific now? What would be the process to submit a name there?
So if a seller wants to submit a name, they just go to our homepage. I don't know if you can see my screen or if I need to share my screen, but they basically just go to namerific.com, scroll down to the bottom and click on Sell with Us, and that'll take them to the sign-up page. They would sign up and submit their domains with their requested price, and then we review all the domain submissions, and we unfortunately have to reject the majority of domains that get submitted to us, but we do approve the good ones. And once that takes place, we will design a logo for it and write a paragraph of text explaining what the domain's about, put some tags on it, fit it in a couple categories, and then we'll feature it on our homepage for about a week. That's what happens to all the new domains that come in. So,
does it have
a homepage and you see a domain that has a little new badge on it? That means it's been there on the homepage. It was approved within the last week.
Okay.
Webinar with all these people right now.
Do you have is there a cost or a fee associated with listing a domain on your your marketplace?
There's no cost, just the time it takes you to go on there and submit your names. We are different from the other brandable domain name marketplaces like BrandBar, BrandRoot, and that we don't charge anything. So we do get a lot of domain submissions, probably because of that. And sometimes it might take a little bit longer, I guess, to design logos because we get so many domains so many good domains submitted to our platform. So we have a queue that's been building up lately. I guess since I did that interview with Domain Sherpa, we've gotten an even higher number of domains submitted. So we're working on tackling them right now. So hopefully it doesn't take too long for anyone else that gets approved names in the system.
How do you guys determine if the name is going to fit with Namerific? Do you have some kind of metric in place? What are you looking for exactly when you determine which names will take on?
Well, there's a few variables. I mean, we want to choose domains that someone's going to buy obviously. So we try to look at a domain from the perspective of a buyer. You know, if I'm starting a new company, would I name my company this domain? Or would I brand my entire new venture this specific domain that I'm looking at? And that's how I kind of look at every domain that gets submitted with the team here. And typically, domains that are shorter, domains that are easy to spell, that sound good, are domains that I'd approve. We try to also make sure they're not infringing on any trademarks. I guess those are the primary, variables we look at. You know, if it's too long or if it's something that just is too, I'm trying to think of the right word here, but basically, if you go to the site, you'll see a lot of domains, they kind of sound cool. A lot of those I approve too because, you know, they look good to buyers when they come to the site. And we want to make sure that if we're approving your name and we're investing time to design the logo and list it up and get traffic to it, that it's going to sell. So, you know,
Okay.
that's pretty much how we...
Do you have, off of the top of your head, one that's memorable, one that you can tell us?
A domain that's memorable?
Yeah, one that you might have on your site right now as an example of what you would, you know, accept.
So one domain we have that's kind of cool is hono.com, H-O-N-O, like Honolulu. That's a 4-letter domain. It's a .com. It's short. It'd be good for, you know, a company doing some sort of social stuff in Honolulu, Hawaii. You could also use it for anything. I mean, it's easy to remember. The logo is kind of cool. Another one would be jumpclick.com. That kind of sounds like jump kick. So it's could be used, you know, by maybe an advertising company or marketing company. You know, some sort of affiliate marketing business. I thought that one was kind of cool. That's something I got up on the site. So
those sound good. Those sound like good names.
Domains, but those are just two that I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Yeah. Well, you know, that leads me to one of our member questions. This one's from Mr. Steven. He wants to know if you have any insights on the best way to find leads in order to sell to potential end users.
So, yeah, if you want to push traffic to your own domain sales page on the site, I mean, there's ways you can find buyers. So let's say your domain is in a certain niche of business. Let's say it's, let me think here. Let me try to find a specific domain. So we have one called clothx.com. That one could be good for, you know, a clothing company or apparel brand. What you could do specifically if you're trying to sell your own domain without waiting for us to sell it for you, you could go and target companies directly and just go on their websites, find companies that are big in the clothing niche. For example, it could be like ModCloth or different companies like that, and you could send them an email directly to their media team or marketing team and pitch, you know, send them a little email pitch with your domain and a logo and everything. And that's one way. That's something that we do internally. We have someone that going around contacting companies and pitching them domains that might fit their industry and might be a potential acquisition for them. You know, something good that they can invest in for the future even. You can also go on LinkedIn groups and you could message people that are in a certain industry that might potentially want to buy that domain. I've sold domains, for example, some of these marketing advertising domains. I'll go into Facebook and I'll find advertising groups like affiliate marketing groups, and I'll post domains for sale in there, and you know, you'll get like 5,000 people to see that post, and sometimes we sell domains that way. So there's multiple ways to do it, and you know, if you have a domain listed on our site, it's not like you can't go around and sell it separately. We're not exclusive with our listings, so.
Okay, that was going to be my.
Domain, you know, you can just take the 100% of that profit that you
Oh, wow. That was going to be my follow-up question. I was going to ask if there was an exclusivity clause, you know, with regards to listings, but you're saying if they list on your site, they can still sell it on other marketplaces.
Exactly. Yeah.
Independently.
Yeah, we want to give people flexibility, you know, and that's what attracts a lot of people to list on our site. Is it really doesn't cost them anything. I mean, the only thing that happens, they're just getting extra traffic to their domains. There are certain domains, individual domains that might be high premium domains, and if we're going to focus a lot of time trying to sell those, we do ask for exclusivity, but that's a one-on-one situation with domainers. But majority of the domains, they're not exclusive. You know, you can try to find buyers on your own. However, if you send buyers to the site and they, you know, they see a nice sales page and they see the logo, you know, they're probably more inclined to buy from a company that looks more legitimate like ours, whereas if you're just an individual domainer emailing people, it might not look so great.
Switch your phone.
So that's another reason why you can try to send people to your domain page on the site.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. You know, that makes me think of when we start working with branding or adding some good images and descriptions to these domains so that they can sell better.
Yeah.
Do you allow the people who are submitting their names to you to also submit descriptions and their own logos, or is that something you only do in-house?
When you sign up as a seller, you could apply as a logo designer. And, you know, if you have a nice portfolio of logos, we can approve you and you can design your own logos for your domains. But for the most part, domainers focus on, you know, their domain business, acquiring domains, and they don't design logos. But for the most part, we have our own in-house designer that designs, I would say, 80% of the logos. And we have other designers that come in and design logos without getting paid upfront. And they make money when the domain actually sells. So when you submit a domain, you choose how much you want to award to a logo designer if the domain sells. And, you know, we have about 300 designers that will receive emails about your new domain, and they can log into the site, design the logo, and upload it, and then it'll go live. As for writing descriptions, we do that in-house. We've tested having domainers submit their own descriptions, and it didn't work out so great. So we do all that ourselves.
Okay, that makes sense. So what if a domainer has a particular angle? Maybe they can't write their own description, but do they get to tell you in their opinion, what that particular brandable is supposed to be for or is best for? Do you allow them
we actually removed the description box for domainers, so that's not there, but they can always email us directly if, you know, there's a certain type of text they want us to write to describe the domain. That's fine too, and what they think the logo should be. So, but, you know, for the most part, we use our own judgment to analyze the domain and design a logo and, you know, brand it how we think it'll be the most appealing to our buyers.
And what about setting the price? Is that something you do, or does the domainer get to choose?
The domainer sets a price. Sometimes we agree with that price. Sometimes we disagree with it. If we disagree with it, we set a new price and we email them and we request a price change.
Excuse me, it sounds like someone's trying to get into the meeting here. Let me take a look and see what's going on. No. They really want to get in. That's good. Let's see. Let's see if we can figure that out. Well, that's peculiar.
Maybe we should ask everyone to turn off their microphones on their end if there's a button for that.
Yeah, actually I muted everyone's microphones. I'm not sure why that's coming through.
Might shut off their mics.
You know, I thought I muted everyone's microphones, but if I haven't and yours is unmuted, can you mute it for us? That would really help. Thanks.
Sounds better now.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we were talking about setting the price.
Yeah. As for the price, people submit when they submit their domain, they choose what price they want to list it at, and if we disagree with that, we'll change it and we'll get their approval before listing it. But typically, we accept the prices that they put for the most part. So.
Okay. Okay, so what I think we'll do is we'll try to get over into our chat window and see if we have some questions from the rest of our members here. Karsten, do you
Yes.
have any?
No, I was already posed my question.
It looks like Adrian posted, do you require domains to be pointed or
Yes.
redirected to your website? And the answer to that question is initially yes. When you submit your domain, we require you to verify it. And to verify it, you just forward it to the sales page for that domain. So let's say the domain is, crowdvibes.com. You would forward it to namerific.com/crowdvibes. Our system will recognize that, and then it'll verify the domain. And then after that point, you could, change it back to your parking page or whatever you're doing with the domain. So you're not required to redirect it the entire time. However, it's nice if you do, because if someone types that domain in, they'll see the sales page and they can just buy it directly from the site.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I didn't see a lot written here, so what I'll do is I'll go through here and I'll unmute the mics one at a time and see if they have any follow-up questions. I'm going to start with Stephen because he had quite a few questions on our wall, and I figured he'd want to ask you some of them himself.
Sure. Is that the same Steven I see on video here?
Yeah. Stephen, are you able to speak with us? I think that you might be muted on your end.
Click on the audio button, click on mic and speakers. That's probably the mistake you have right now. Still can't hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Now
we
I
can hear you now.
Okay, there's some feedback in.
Oh my God.
Maybe just put the speakers lower and it should work. Can't hear you anymore.
Yeah, your audio went out again, Stephen.
If you'd like to type your question, I can read it.
Yeah, if you'd like, you can type it.
Looks like Adrian asked the question, what is your daily ritual when you approach your day? Typically, daily ritual, the first thing I'll do is go through and log into Skype and start a group chat with my employees, and we discuss what needs to be done for the day. And I'll go through and approve or deny domains. I work with our marketing team to track, our marketing efforts, and priority for us is to process any inquiries or offers that come in on the site for domains, process any sales. I would say that's how I start my day. It looks like Steven is asking a question.
Oh, there it goes.
Let me read this here. So yes, Cito.
Mike, can you read that out loud so that the people who are listening to it later can know what the question is?
Yeah. So the question is, quote, I have noticed Cito has changed their front page to a new business style format, with many domains displaying without logos. Media Options does not display logos as well as most all domain brokerage companies. Since Namerific displays logos like BrandBucket does, do you see your site as more an online store than a brokerage, or do you have active salespeople following leads to sell more domains? So to answer that question, we are a broker in a sense, but we also are trying to make a domain look like a product. So that's why we have the cool logo. So, if you're an entrepreneur and you're coming to our site, our goal is to make it as easy as possible for you to pick one of our products to brand your new venture with. So I guess in a way, I guess we are kind of like a sales online store in a sense. And, we do go out and try to find buyers to answer that last part of your question. We are constantly contacting entrepreneur groups and entrepreneurs who are starting new businesses and apps and attempting to sell our domains to them. Second question is, Michael, you recently said you believe affiliate marketing is a better source of income in the long run opposed to your Namerific broker site. Can you elaborate on that, please? So to answer that question, as a domainer, once you invest in your portfolio and you got your domains listed at different marketplaces, there's only so much you can do or so much time you can invest into selling your own domains. I mean, you could potentially turn it into a really big business for yourself, but I think domaining for a lot of domainers should be kind of like a side thing. Invest in domains, get them listed at different places, and you can spend a few hours a day on it. But if you have a lot more free time, I think there's a lot more opportunity to make a good income with internet marketing. So that's kind of what our other side of the business does, which is bananaads.com, and we help people make money with affiliate marketing. So they're going out and spending money on advertising and generating leads and sales for advertisers, and some people do quite well with that. A lot of people make 6 figures a year with that type of business. I think that to make 6 figures a year with domaining, you'd have to really be very dedicated and very diligent about it. And I think a lot of domainers aren't really that diligent about their business. A lot of them just, they buy a group of domains and then they try to sell them. But maybe the people on this call aren't like that. So I don't want to apply that to everyone.
We won't take it personally.
Sure.
Unless it applies, I guess.
Oh, okay. Another question was, what marketing strategies do you and your partner have planned for Namerific in order to help it grow in the near future? It asked more marketing, blog writing, paid advertising, affiliate marketing. Thanks. So the marketing we're doing right now is we're trying to focus more on SEO traffic, so getting visitors to the site through search engine traffic. We're trying to rank on certain keywords that people are typing in when they're looking for a new brand. So that's one part of our efforts. We also have search and content campaigns live. We have a retargeting campaign live right now with, I forget the name of the company, Trigit. And we also are, doing things like this, talking to domain groups to get the word out about our company. We're also doing pop traffic where we can basically pop our site on to visitors that are visiting related sites where they might be interested in buying a domain. So we are actively marketing the site to answer that question.
Okay, so I'm going to switch over to Mr. Adrian Nash. I'm going to unmute you if you'd like to ask Mike a question. Can you let's test and see if we can hear you, Adrian.
Can't hear you.
No. Okay, so I'll read. Oh, let's see here. Adrian?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, we can hear you. Great.
All right, perfect. So first and foremost, thanks Angela and Karsten for having this event, and Mike, thanks for showing up and all of your expertise. So I guess my question is, in regards to the future of domaining, where do you see things headed? like you said, I mean, a lot of domainers will just put their domains up for sale and kind of just, put their heads between their legs or, twiddle their thumbs or just hope that the domain sells. But it seems like there's been an explosion here lately with so many people trying to get into this industry. So where do you see it headed?
Well, I think it's going to continue because there's less and less available .com domains for people to buy. If you're an entrepreneur going out trying to hand register a domain on GoDaddy, you're going to have a hard time finding something good unless you know what you're doing. So I think it's just going to increase. This niche is growing. There's a lot of other brandable marketplaces like ours that are popping up in the space. So it is definitely growing. I think there's interest in more extensions now besides .com. I mean, I know .com is still the primary domain to use. If you're launching a business, even if you own another extension, you still want to own the .com for your brand, I think. But people are definitely looking at other extensions as well, so that's going to continue in the future. You can see a lot of big companies investing in new TLD domains that, if you follow any of the domain blogs, you'll see the sales that are going on. So it's not a bad idea to invest in some of those as well if you can pick up some good ones. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does, actually. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, let's switch over to Tom here. Tom, let's see if we can get you on.
Yes, hello, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Mike, that you share your time and your knowledge to us. And thanks for Angela that you have organized this event. And I have a short question. I want to know your opinion about Sinbad.tv. What do you think about this domain?
What's the domain?
Sinbad.tv. TV, sorry.
Zimbert.tv.
It's Sinbad, and actually it's on the next slide here that you guys are about to see. It's one of the two that you were going to give us your feedback on.
Oh, okay.
Do you see it there on the
I
screen?
see it.
The purpose was for travel channel, shopping channel, or video on demand channel. This was the idea for this domain.
Sinbad.tv. Well, first I'm going to go to the domain and see if there's anything there. Looks like you're selling it. Okay.
Not really.
Well, first off, in terms of our marketplace, we don't list anything besides .com right now. .tv domains I'm not too experienced with. This could be a good domain if maybe it's gets natural traffic somehow. As for the American market, I don't think this word Sinbad really means anything. I don't think it's particularly special. No offense, but if you're looking to brand something, some sort of video channel, a .tv domain definitely would work nicely for that. But the word Sinbad itself, I'd have to do more research to see what it means. Off the top of my head, it doesn't really.
Sinbad, okay. Just a short explanation about the word Sinbad. Sinbad, it's an actor in the story about Alibaba. Alibaba. There's also.
Yeah, right.
This belongs to this field, and he is a figure in this, and he is known in the Near East area.
Yeah, it looks like it might be. I mean, yeah, if you want to brand a TV channel type thing, like a streaming video site, maybe you can target the the Middle East market if that's where that name is more popular. That I can't do anything against that. So if that's what you're trying to do, go for it. However, if you really are trying to build a really big brand, you might want to consider buying something more premium, I guess. But what do I know? that domain could be great for that.
Okay, thanks a lot for your opinion and for your advice.
Yeah, and everyone's welcome to email me there. If you have other domains you want me to consider. My email is mike@namerific.com. and I can give you my opinion on stuff like this. I'm happy to do that as well.
Mike,
Thanks a lot. I will do.
if you don't mind, I'll go back to Mr. Adrian Nash really quickly because the other name there belongs to him, and I'll let you reply to it before we move to the next guest.
Sure. You have another question, Adrian?
Adrian, are you still with us? Oh, well, I see you there, but can't really hear. Okay, there we go, I think.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Yeah, so I have hack.com. It's very memorable, and wanted to know what your...
H-A-C-K?
I'm sorry?
H-A-C-K.com?
No.
No.
Triple A-K.
Oh, H-triple-A-K.com.
Yeah,
Do you see it there on the screen, Mike? I just want to make sure. Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Hack.com. It's a little interesting. The 3 letters thing, I don't usually approve any of those. So if it had 2 A's, it'd be a much better domain in my opinion.
Okay.
Or if it was spelled H-A-C-K, that would be
Sure.
But if it was H-A-A-K.com, it would be much better. I probably would not approve this one.
Okay.
Although, the logo looks kind of cool and, you got something there. And I guess it could catch on, the 3 A's, but who owns HAAK.com? That's the first thing I would check.
The 3 A's or the 2?
Unused page.
So if you go to H-triple-A-K.
Yeah, I'm going there now. I'm checking it. Yeah, so you have it listed on a domain auction site.
Yeah, that's actually my site.
Oh, this is your site? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a nice looking site.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's so many of these that we get submitted to us that we usually don't approve any of them typically.
Right.
I mean, this almost never exists in the English language having the 3 letters together. So, yeah, if you want my honest opinion.
Oh, I do, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely avoid investing in these type of domains in the future. Try to get, I mean, you're at 5 letters here. You could try to get down to 4 if you can get something with
Right.
2 letters in between. That might be better.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, I can see where you're going with it. It does sound like it could be like for a hacker forum or a privacy forum. I mean, it could be branded like that.
Right.
You're in the right direction with that one.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to see if we have a question from member Yancey. Do we have a question, Yancey? For Mike? Yancey, are you there? Okay, so I think Yancey might submit his question in the chat window.
Okay.
Do you see his question there, Mike, in the chat window? He says he's wondering on the quantity of the current inventory.
Yes, so we have about a little under 2,000 domains currently in the system. And those are all, pre-approved domains. That's not, the number of domains that have been submitted. Those are domains that are live on the site with a logo and everything. So, what do you think?
And do you have a set number of where you plan to keep it moving forward, or?
Well, we definitely want to keep the quality of the inventory very high. We're being more and more selective these days just because we're getting so many submissions. As for the total number of domains in the inventory, we don't have like a cap set. But we don't I know some of the other brandable marketplaces are approving a lot more domains lately, and they have lower quality but higher quantity of domains in their systems. And the problem with that is it takes buyers more time to find something good, and we're trying to avoid that. We want someone to land on the site and see high-quality names from the get-go. We don't want them to have to sift through a lot of names before they find something that they want. So that answers that question. As for the question above, there was another question about the traffic. And yeah, a lot of our traffic does come from domain redirects. That's aside from our ad spend. And some of the ads you're not going to find on like SpyFu because they come through third-tier search networks like 7search.com, which is not going to be picked up by tools like SpyFu. But in the past 28 days, to answer your question, we've had, let's see here, the last 27 days, we've had 118,275 visitors, and that's tracked through my clicky.com account. And I know if you're a domainer right now, and you're trying to decide where to put your domains, you definitely want to put it somewhere where there's a decent amount of traffic. And we're definitely working on increasing our numbers, but I guess the average right now is several thousand unique visitors per day. So yeah, that answers that question. I'm happy to communicate directly with any sellers about our traffic stats, and I can show you screenshots of our visitor traffic. So if that's a concern, I can definitely work with you on that and answer those questions.
Well,
another question from Yancy. How do you find scarcity moves the buyer through the sales funnel? Less choices of good names translate to faster decision making. Yeah, I mean, there is a marketing study where they showed if people have too many choices, it's typically it causes them not to buy anything because they can't decide. So I guess having less names and having a more scarce amount of names, it does help with sales, I think, especially if what they're seeing is better quality. Whereas if we have 10,000 domains to choose from, and it's there's a lot of supply, then the value of each name can actually drop, I guess, in the buyer's eyes. So I hope that answers that question for Yancy.
well, I think we did great here, Mike. You were able to answer everyone's questions. Thank you so much. I'm not sure.
If there's any other questions, people can post them on the chat or ask them verbally. I don't know if there's any last-minute questions people have.
I did see one just pop up there. Do you have any proactive means of selling the domains listed on your site, such as following leads? And if so, how?
Yeah, so actually if you look at our site, if you go to a domain page for a specific domain, you'll notice there's a Buy Now button. People could purchase the domain immediately, or they could make an offer on the domain, or they can just email us a question about the domain. So there's 3 ways that we can get leads coming in: through a Buy Now button, Make an Offer button, or an Inquire button. And every single lead that comes through, we get back to them as quickly as possible with an answer to try to facilitate a sale. As for proactive means of selling domains, like I said earlier, we try to find entrepreneur groups and different places where entrepreneurs congregate, or where people that might potentially be interested in buying domains, and we try to post there and find buyers for specific domains. If someone says they're creating an app and they need a name, we'll go in there and we'll jump into the conversation, and we'll pitch names to them. So we have employees that work for us that do that pretty much full time. Next question: what tools would you recommend a domainer must have for their domainer business? Depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to sell brandables, I guess you need to figure out a system of buying some good domains. And one thing that we like to use is an Excel spreadsheet, where we basically create names from a spreadsheet. You'll put in a base word, and it'll add prefixes or suffixes to that word. And what you'll do is you can copy 500 domains at a time that it generates for you, and you can plug that into the GoDaddy bulk domain search tool, and you'll find all of those domains that are available as a .com. And just stuff like that helps a lot. There are sites that you can join that basically help you create new domains like Esterbot and stuff like that. So you don't really need any of those things, but they do help, I guess.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the chat window open for a little bit, and if anyone else has any questions of me, or I guess if you want to just chat with other members of the group, that would be great. It's always good to get to know each other. But in the meantime, though, I'd like to thank you, Mike, for coming by and chatting with us. It's been great, and we really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to help all the domainers that have joined. I know it's not that easy to make money in this business sometimes, so anything I can do to help your listeners here is I'm happy to do.
Okay. Well, you know what? We really hope to have you back another time.
Sure.
In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and post this video to our Facebook wall after it converts. It's going to take about 10 to 20 minutes to convert. I'll post it, and you all can go back and listen to it again if you'd like, or share it. And Mike, I know you mentioned you might want to share it yourself on one of your blogs or websites, so it will definitely be available. Thank you again for coming, and we hope to see you again soon. Everybody else, thanks for joining us. It's been great, and you're always welcome to contact me if you have any questions.
And likewise, if anyone wants to contact me, they can add me on my Facebook. I'll go ahead and post it here. It's just facebook.com/Navarini, and you can add me on there, and we can communicate on there through Skype. My Skype is just mike.navarini if there's just an audio recording of this. So happy to connect with anyone that wants to talk.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike.
All right. Thanks again, Angela.